not here to be a Debbie Downer, but I want to say something about these women that are asking for DV and abuse during sex. They want to be slapped, they want to be hit, they want to be choked. And I've had men tell me about these women. That's how I know, because the men have told me about these women. And I think that these women came from abusive childhoods. My theory is that they were never loved by their parents. They were only hit. The only contact they had with their parents, is my speculation, was being hit, being discarded, being abused, being neglected. And so that's all they know. They have fused affection with pain. Because it makes no sense to me that someone would want to be physically hurt, especially during an intimate act such as sex. I consider myself the typical woman, and what arouses me is affection. You know, like a guy kissing all over me, holding me tight, grabbing me tight, looking at me, like that's arousing. That to me seems healthy. Um, but wanting to be choked to the point of passing out, wanting to be slapped, like, I don't want to be hit. Why would I want to be hit? In what world is that pleasant or exciting? It's not. Now, I'm not opposed to any kind of like dirty talk or role play or all kinds of kinky things you might want to do. But this whole violence during sex, I just want to call it out. I just want to call it out because I have had men tell me, oh, I had sex with this girl, or I had a girlfriend who liked it really rough, and it made me very uncomfortable. It made me very uncomfortable, so I disengaged from the relationship. Or I never had sex with this woman again, because a healthy man is not going to participate in that kind of sex. In my opinion, I think these people were abused, and I think they're reliving their trauma in a way that feels safe. Because the other way that these people can go is that they don't want any sex at all, especially if they were sexually abused. I don't know. If you like that kind of sex, I'm wondering if you were abused as a child and hit. And if you have somehow maybe fused the pain with affection, like connection and pain go together. I did have a friend I knew years ago. She was in the like a former meth addict, and she had been sexually abused as a child. She said she had no memories of it, but vague feelings of it, and she did like to be, like that during sex. She liked that. Yeah, it seemed very odd to me. I also wonder how these people are in a relationship, if they are also extremely violent, or if they have kind of compartmentalized that abusive touch to the bedroom. To me, sex, even in the movies, I've always just seen it as very like passionate and affectionate and loving. And physical, of course. I've never seen it like that. I've only been told about it by men, and I did read about it in that book by Louise Perry, The Case Against the Sexual Revolution. And I don't know any other women who told me that they like it that way. And if you like it that way and it helps you feel good, I mean, you go for it. I'm not here to tell anyone what to do in their bedroom. But this is just, I just want to talk about it because if you're a man who's come across this, I'm curious how you felt about it, and if these women were also violent outside the bedroom, or if you enjoyed it. If you're a woman, why you think you enjoy it. Were you abused as a child? Like, is there a correlation between childhood abuse and wanting rough sex that's basically domestic violence I do have a nice ass. Sometimes men have been like, hey, can I slap your ass? I'm like, no, I don't want to be hit. Like, what is wrong with you? You want to hit me? Like, get the fuck out of here. It just seems stupid. They seem stupid. Like, no, you can't hit me. Why would that turn me on? That's what I think. This is an opinionated video. It's just my opinion. Again, you can do what you want. If you like to be hit, you know, I'm not here to tell you you can't. Maybe there's some healing for you in that, okay, this guy's going to hit me, but in a way that's safe that I can control. I couldn't control being hit when I was a child. You might think that you couldn't control being hit when you were a child, but you can control it now as an adult by replaying it in a safe way where you know the hitting is under your control. This kind of reminds me of women who use men for sex. I had the occasion to be at a party a few years ago with a bunch of us ladies getting together, and one of the women there who's married said before she got married she used to be very broken sexually, and she didn't know how to love men, so she would just use them sexually. Like, she would hook up with them, and she said ride their dick and then just leave them, and that way she could control everything. So that's an example. That's an example. That's just, none of that is loving or affectionate or feminine or motherly or nurturing. And I think of, or healthy in my opinion, or fulfilling. But again, I guess it served a purpose for her because it made her feel probably like she was in control, like she could get men back for the way they had ignored her when she was little or taken advantage of her when she was little. Now she could get back at them and get revenge, or she could control it and have sex in a way that was very safe, because there is a vulnerability and a softness in opening up to a man. It's affectionate and it's trusting him and opening to him. And I think that's a great gift that we give to men. But if a man just can just go around slapping you, is there any opening? I don't know. I'm curious if you feel this feeling of like emotionally opening or physically opening, or if it's just like, you know, a sport where sex is just a sport, kind of like what's that thing when you do the arm wrestling, you know, where it's just wrestling. I'm just curious. I just want to make this video and I will be back for the comments. Very interested in what you guys have to share with me.